Happy International Tabletop Day. And as a special celebration, we're going to be cooking some breakfast together. This is a kitchen. It is a place where dreams come to live, not to die, as many people would have you believe. What we're going to be making today is a little bit of hash browns with... Let's do corned beef hash. Now, you can cut up potatoes, but potatoes take a bit longer to cook. And you want consistency with hash. Look at this. Huzzah. You want consistency with hash. That means you want similar sized bites. And I find frozen hash works pretty damn well. Start with a cast iron skillet and heat it up. Heat. While waiting for it to heat, you want to check your hair. Make sure it's looking properly greasy in the morning. And also start your coffee maker. If you're like me and enjoy coffee, you probably have a fancy coffee maker. This is really just a glimpse into how I start my morning. For all the people that somewhat care. Let's check on that cast iron. Yes, looks like it's heating up nice. Now, you want to add a bit of fat. Now, fat can be comprised of butter, which in this case is completely empty, or an oil, which in this case would be olive oil. Now, for the record, I want to claim that this is neither the appropriate nor necessary steps in how to make hash browns. This is purely the way I make them, in case anyone wants to make the special Harlan flavored hash browns of yonder days. What I like doing to lubricate the pan is a combination of butter and oil. Next, you want to take a wooden spoon. I prefer wooden spoons because they're a bit more classic. And you want to put in the hash browns. Now, in this case, I opened these hash browns a few weeks ago, so they're a bit freezer burnt. Turn it to heat only slightly and we leave it. In the meantime, we want to open our hash. I prefer this named brand for hash because hash comes in a can, and I feel like if you're going canned meat, you don't really want to go no name. Because this is corned beef, there's also going to be a great deal of fat on it as well. This is all good, and in fact when we add it to the pan later on, it's going to add a bit of crinkle, but you don't want the whole thing. This is not the knife to be using for cutting. Because hash is also quite salty, I don't like to use a full can when I'm making breakfast. So typically, we'll cut like so, put the remainder in a plastic baggie, and we wash our hands. While the potatoes are finishing, we'll finish our coffee. Here I have a pressed espresso shot, which we will lock in and brew. In the meantime, we will get our milk. Now, I am no way an expert at foaming milk. When I do foam milk, I like to keep it constantly moving, and I like it very, very hot. In the meantime, however, I like to pre-ground my next shot so that when the milk is done, I can make the next one right away. Turn on the steaming one. Stick her in. Start steaming. Now this first section is just going to be heating up, so we don't need to do much. In the meantime, we can stir our potatoes. Looking good so far. Ah, yes. Getting a little bit of crust. Now the reason we like to leave the potatoes before stirring is because they tend to just absorb the fat. See, the bottom of the pan is very empty already. Now you'll notice we haven't seasoned these. You never want to season until once they're cooked. Seasoning during cooking is a bad idea. Back to the coffee. Alright, we're getting hot. Now when it starts getting too hot to be able to touch, that's when we start actually wanting to foam. By bringing it up to the surface, we're going to inject a little bit of air into our bowl. That seems good. You can see the milk has grown to the top of the glass. And then the most important step I'm using a foam wand. You want to immediately wipe it down because this thing is hot. Should flow like honey, so we're more in the watery honey area. Then begin to pour. You can't quite see this. There we go. Oh, I'm no designer, so I can't make things look fancy. Yes. Now at this point they should be developing a crust. A nice little bit of brown. You can see it a bit there. So I think it's about time to add our hash. Now most of the time I use the spoon and just sort of mash it down. We're going to leave that there for a minute. We're going to turn down the heat just a bit. So, the coffee is made, the hash browns are cooking. It's now time to consider spices. Mainly just here. Spices are important. So many various options. Paprika, chili powder. Sumac is a very nice choice. It adds a little bit of tartness. Peri-peri seasoning, vegetables, garlics, all this type of stuff. But when it comes to hash browns, I like to keep it simple. With two simple ingredients. I like garlic powder. The other one I keep in this cup. Old Bay seasoning. Holly and Henry are joining us.
Hello, Daddy. Oh, he's camera shy. Too close?
No, that's perfect. Are you ready for breakfast, Henry? That means yes. Now these should have crisped up quite nicely. I was distracted because of the cleaning and all that such. And filming, obviously. But we want to integrate the hash in with this. Now, a lot of other people would start with onions and start with all these kinds of basics. Listen, these are great, viable ways to do it. You could start by, finely dicing an onion, adding it, even some leek, something soft, something tender, something savory. But I'm a meat and potatoes kind of guy. I'm a very basic bitch. So now we want to taste, just a smidge. Salt is on point. Again, because the corned beef hash is so salty. But a bit of garlic powder would enhance this just a bit. And finally, some Old Bay. Now, if you don't have Old Bay, or you've never heard of it, it's a New England type seasoning, typically for poultry, seafood, salads, and meats. But I like it for just about anything, and the reason is, it's sort of got a savory sweetness to it. We're going to leave this, let the bottom crust with all the fat that's in the pan. And I think I'll cook Holly an egg. Bit of olive oil and a pat of butter. We do not need to be as fancy. Start off by plating some of our hash browns, which you can see have now have a crust on them. We want to come in with our egg. Use the pan. A lot of people don't want to use the pan for whatever reason. I like to use a variety of different flavors. Sometimes hot sauces of sorts, but the current hot sauce I'm enjoying is this El Yucato. The El Yucato black version. It has a bit of smokiness to it. It's quite delicious. And I, of course, apply it liberally. I was waiting for your review of the food.
Oh.
Holly reviews. So, Holly, what do you give it?
I give it an 8 out of 10. 2 is the highest.
So that's really a 7 then.
It's good, but I feel like the potatoes could be crispier. But
Yeah.
you did say they were freezer burnt, so that explains it.
So there you have it. Breakfast on International Tabletop Day with yours truly. We cooked hash browns and eggs. Hope you enjoyed... And corned beef hash, sorry. Corned beef hash and eggs. Hope you enjoyed this short tutorial. Hope you didn't find my British in and out too annoying. Henry wants to say goodbye. Goodbye. See you round the table.
Henry, did you like the food?
I thought the milk was especially milky today. Kind of sounds Indian.